Today we are going to be removing and installing a leaf spring on the bed of a Chevy pickup truck. To do this, we will be needing these tools right here: breaker bar, half-inch drive ratchet, half-inch drive sockets, and they are a 22 millimeter, 21 millimeter, and a 19 millimeter, and a 22 millimeter ratcheting wrench. So the first thing you want to do, take your 19 millimeter ratchet, or socket and ratchet, and put it on to the bottom. Or actually, first you want to make sure you're on the off, so you can remove things. Sit it on the bottom of the U-bolt and remove it. And if it's hard to remove, that's when you can come into the breaker bar. But this is removing pretty easy for me right now, so I'll just use the ratchet. So when you're ready,
go.
All right. So once you get these nuts loose and removed, there is a piece in there that you're gonna have to take off. Let me just get this guy. I can't breathe. Are you recording this or? Here. Huh?
Yep.
Oh boy. All right. So to get that bolt removed, take this. There we go, and remove it. There you go. Go.
Okay, so next step you do is you loosen the shackle to a spring nut. And you don't drop your tools.
There you go. Alright, so after you get the shackle to leaf spring bolt loosened up, you want to remove the shackle to
Rear bracket nut.
rear bracket nut. Oh, good. So there's a bolt back here you gotta get hooked up right there. So you just want to hold that so it doesn't spin on you. Take this and hold down. Here, just give me so you get some leverage. Here, first I'm gonna. Alright. Once you get that broke, you gotta just basically twist it until it comes off. Get that removed. Pull this back.
No, it just is the nut.
You're good. Alright, and then once you get the bolt removed, give it a couple wiggles and eventually you'll get the nut removed. You want to pause it? One.
Okay, so the next step is you remove the other side by putting your ratchet on this side and putting your wrench this side from the top.
There you go, you're in. Nope, never mind. There, you're good.
And just like that, it comes off nice and easily. And then, touch the bolt. Ready?
This is the part that's pain in the butt. Oh, here it comes out easy. I like how that works. I spoke too soon. I'm gonna pause it. Alright, so last thing you gotta do is remove the shackle to leaf spring. And even though we had this loose in, we have to completely remove it now. So you just kind of take it, twist it off, make sure it's pretty loose, and it just comes right off like butter. And then if it's in like this, what you can do is you can lift it up, pulls out like easy. There you go. You got it removed. After you get that removed, you take the whole assembly now, pull it right off, like so. There you have it. Go.
Okay, so first thing you do when reinstalling the leaf spring, and you pick this up. The front side, remove it first. Line up the middle. After you do that, then you head it like this, put the bolt through the hole, put it on the other side, put the washer on, put the nut on, but do not tighten it.
Alright, next what you need to do after you get the shackle to leaf spring bolt in, you got to take your other bolt, and that is your leaf spring to
Front bracket.
front bracket. Yeah. So what you do, you line it up with the back hole, and what I do is I look down the hole, and you can actually, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but you can see where the spring is. So you just take that, line it up, and I actually think you have the spring on it. Blank. Alright. So as you can see, what I was talking about earlier is when it's lined up, you see the bolt coming through. Just gotta take a little bit of shimmying, but you'll eventually get it through. Like so. Once you get the bolt all the way through, you put your washer on, and you take your nut, and you just hand tighten. You don't want to tighten with the wrench yet. Go.
Okay, so next you put the bolt in, put it in through the back side. Then you push down the leaf spring so you can get the hole lined up. And you might have to move the shackle around a little bit so you can get it lined up. And just like that, you can get it through, in and through. And put your washer on, and you just hand tighten the nut.
Alright, so next what you want to do is reinstall the U-bolts, which are these right here. The first step to do that, you take the plate, and you want to make sure you notice how the plate has the grooves on the top, and they're faced upward, like so. You want this to face up, because when the U-bolts sit, they sit right inside those grooves, and they won't allow it to move. And you take a washer, set it on top of there. And then you take your first U-bolt, and you just set it in, right? And then after that, you take the bottom, line it up so you can get both holes. And this U-bolt, if you notice, is facing a little bit outward from each other. So what I did, or what I'm doing right now, is taking it and squeezing it so I can get it into there. You want to make sure, thank you, boy. And it's helpful if you have two people do this, so one person can hold the top while you push this thing on, like so. And you take your first washer, put it up, and then take your first nut, and tighten just good enough. There you go. What? Oh, sorry. I was using that to hold it. And once you get that hand tightened just good enough, and you can just let it sit. And you get your second washer, stick it in, hand tighten, and then you just take both of these, ride them up. Alright, so now that you got the first side done, you want to take the second side, slide it down, so it sits inside the two valleys. Take the bottom, move it back up, make sure everything's lined up first. It's being kind of a pain right now, but there you go. Once you get that lined up, take your first washer, stick it on, hand tighten until good enough. And you don't have to hand tighten this very much, you just gotta hand tighten this so you got enough thread that it'll hold. Same with this side, because you want to do that for now. That way when you're torquing with the torque wrench, you don't have to worry about the other side falling off. So you just get that hand tightened, and there you go. Alright. There you go. Oh, I never recorded. Now it's recording.
Okay, so the next thing you do is you torque the nuts, and here at Tech we find our torque specs on ProDemand, but you can just go to Google and look them up. There's probably a website that you can find them on. And for the U-bolts, the torque spec is 81, as you might be able to see on here, depending on the camera. Okay, and then the pattern to torque these is first you go here, and then you go to this one, and then you go to this one, and then you go to this one.
Alright, so after you get the U-bolts torqued to the specs, you need to go through and torque the rest of these. This one will be at for this specific vehicle, it is at a 92. This one is at an 81. And then this bolt right here is at a 89. So once you get those done, then you will be finished. Are you good?